Today's lesson is about oxygen. You may have heard about oxygen before. Oxygen in the scientific term is called O2. So if you hear me say O2 or you see me having written it down as O2, just know that we're talking about oxygen. Now, oxygen is literally everywhere and it's in everything. Think about anything that's alive, it needs oxygen to stay alive. So obviously us as humans, any kind of animal, any kind of plant, it needs oxygen. So as we just said, every living thing needs oxygen to survive and keep on living. Oxygen is also in the air we breathe, it's in the water that we drink, and obviously it's going to be in our body if we're breathing it in. Oxygen makes 65% of our body weight. Okay, so think about that. If water makes up a lot of our body weight, oxygen is in water, that means oxygen is making up a lot of our body. So just think of 65% as more than half of our body weight. Now, we're gonna go and talk about two different organs in our body that use oxygen to keep us alive and keep us healthy. So the first one is lungs. Our lungs, we have two lungs, one on one side and one on the other side of our chest. Okay, so our lungs bring oxygen into our body. So think about when you take a deep breath, oxygen is coming in through the air we breathe into our body, and mainly our body takes that oxygen and it goes into our blood. Okay, our blood circulates all through our body, and oxygen in that blood goes to all different parts of our body. So that oxygen actually gives us the energy we need to do everyday things, whether it's walking or even sitting, and obviously when we exercise. So that oxygen gives us energy, and also when we breathe in that oxygen through our lungs, it also helps us remove waste. So when we breathe out, that air that's coming out of our body is actually waste. Think of waste as anything that we don't need in our body. Our bodies are smart. It brings things in that we need and it removes things that we don't need. Okay? So just think of waste as anything we don't need. So when we breathe it out, we need that oxygen in order to breathe out that waste. Okay? Moving on from the lungs, we have our heart. Okay, our heart is usually in the center or a little towards the left of our chest, depending on the person. Our heart uses that blood that has oxygen in it. So it has blood, and that blood has oxygen, and it pumps that blood all throughout our body and mainly to our muscles. So let's think about when we exercise. When we exercise, we're using all of our muscles to run, throw, jump, do all these different things to play sports and to exercise. Our muscles need oxygen in order to perform at their best. Okay, so our heart pumps that oxygen and blood all throughout our body to our muscles so that way we can perform at our best. The more we exercise, the more oxygen we're gonna need and the more oxygen we're gonna use. On the other side of that, the more we exercise, the more oxygen we use, the more waste, the more things we don't need that we're gonna also create and remove from our body. So think about this, the more you exercise, the more oxygen you're bringing in, which is very important, and the more waste products, the more bad things that we don't need, you're gonna remove from your body. So obviously exercise is super important for that. The last thing we're gonna talk about is breathing. And we're gonna talk about different ways we can breathe. Some ways are better for us than others. So the first way that we're gonna talk about is breathing through our nose. And the other way is breathing through our mouth. Breathing through your nose is better for you than breathing through your mouth for a lot of different reasons. When you breathe in through your nose, it can keep bacteria from going into your body, because in our nostrils, in our nose, we have different things in there that keep things from going into our body. That's how our body was made. Breathing in through our nose actually can help us use body fat for energy. Okay, so if you wanted to lose some body fat, or if you just wanted to be more healthy, breathing in through your nose is definitely more beneficial than breathing in through your mouth. And lastly, it makes our body work less hard when we breathe in through our nose. So whenever you can, breathe in through your nose. All right, whether you're exercising or if you're just sitting, hanging out, or you're in class, breathe in through your nose compared to breathing in through our mouth. Okay? And then the last thing, and actually, before we move on to the last thing, there's some times where you might have to breathe in through your mouth. Okay, think about if you're working really, really hard and you're sprinting, you're running super fast, maybe in a game, or you're just racing out with your friends, or you're just running, you might be really out of breath. So we can actually breathe in more air through our mouth than we can through our nose. So if you need air quickly and you're feeling out of breath, it's probably better to breathe in through your mouth to get more air in, more oxygen in. But once you get that more air in, it's better for you to breathe in through your nose after, okay? And that's similar to what we're gonna talk about in our last thing, long breaths versus short breaths. Long breaths lower our heart rate. So if you feel your heart pounding really, 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 really fast, okay, try to take a long, deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Okay, do that a few times and you'll start to notice that your heart rate is gonna lower. So if you feel like your heart is beating out of your chest, take a deeper breath in. Don't take a short one, take a deep breath in and you'll notice that your heart rate will start to lower, okay? Now, short breaths, you're gonna notice that when you are working really, really hard, you need to bring in air quicker. So if you're in the middle of running, you won't be able to take in a deep breath while you're running really, really fast. So you're probably gonna be taking shorter breaths in order to bring oxygen and air into your body quicker. So as you can see, short breaths, you're probably gonna take those while you're exercising. When you're done exercising, you're trying to calm yourself down, it's probably be a good opportunity for you to take a long breath, okay? I hope you guys learned a little bit about oxygen. Our activity of the week is gonna involve breathing techniques and oxygen, so you guys can learn how to use our breathing and our oxygen to make us more healthy and more efficient. And I'm also gonna give you guys an exercise activity this week as well. Hope you guys learned something from the lesson. If you have any questions, please ask. I'll see you guys later.